Okay, I got a really good question from a student about the model function combination skill. That's when you have to put a couple um, functions together in order to create another function. So this student is just like, here's an example of that. Let me show you real quick. Like the number of students S served by a school system can be modeled by the function S. The number of classrooms in the town can be modeled by C of t, and there's this function here. Then they want you to write a formula for D of t, which is the average number of students per classroom in eMoore school system, right? So there's nothing about these formulas that's going to tell you whether you add, subtract, multiply, or divide these equations together. And another common mistake I see students make is they try to remember, oh, the school problem, I use addition. I always use addition for the school problem. Well, that might actually get you through a few problems, but then you're always going to have trouble with the skill because, of course, you can have 8 million different contexts, for word problems, right? And you'll just be confused on the next one. So let me show you a good technique. The real key is to focus on what the meaning of S is, what it represents, and what the meaning of C is, and what it represents, and what the meaning of D is, and what it represents. So this is what I kind of write out, a little chart. D is the average number of students per classroom, right? S is the number of students in the school system. And then C is just the number of classrooms in the town. So if I want the average of students per classroom, I just need to take the total number of students and divide it by the number of classrooms to figure out what on average would be the number of students per classroom. Okay, so really it's the reminder. So it's really the words that tell you what the equation should be. So here I know I'm supposed to divide S by C. Okay. I'm going to do the same thing for another problem here. This is the cow problem. Let me show you the problem. Okay, Sophia expects the number of cows. Let me see if I can enlarge this a little bit. There we go. Sophia expects the number of cows C on her farm T years from now to be modeled by the function. Additionally, she expects the supply of hay, F, in tons that her crops can provide for each cow T years from now to be modeled by this function. Okay, let H be the total yearly amount of hay produced in Sophia's farm. Note that the hay produced on Sophia's farm is used exclusively to feed her cows. Okay, so here we're supposed to write a formula for H in terms of C and F. So again, I go back to my paper and I think about what the meaning of H, C, and F are, right? H is what we're trying to design a function for. It's the total hay produced. C is the number of cows. And F is the amount of hay for each cow. So if I want to figure out how much total, like for example, so if there's 3 pounds of hay for each cow, right, and I know there's 10 cows, then I would just multiply those two together to get the total amount of hay produced, 30 pounds of hay. So really, I want to multiply C and F here because that'll tell me the total amount of hay produced. Okay. Now here's this last one. Hopefully I have enough time to get through this last problem. There we go. Okay. Aditi is participating in a walkathon fundraiser. 2 anonymous donors agreed to donate money according to the distance she walks. The money A in dollars she receives from the first donor for walking D kilometers is given by this equation. The total money T in dollars she receives from both donors for walking D kilometers is given by this other equation. Now let B be the money Aditi receives from the second donor for walking D kilometers. Now you notice how I'm reading through for this, at least this part right here, I just ignore what the actual equation is, right? I'm really just looking for what the meaning of A and T and B are. Okay, so B is the money that the second donor gives. A is the money that she receives from the first donor. The total amount of the money she receives is T. So if I just subtract A from T, I should get the money, since there's only 2 donors, I should get the